Hello, Merry Meet. So I want to review a book, and the book I want to review is Energy Healing for Women by Kate Sherwood and Sabine Wittmann. And this is a sort of mixed bag of various forms of practices that are meant for basically energy work for women. So you have meditation, mudras, chakra practices, and all of those. Those are just the ones on the cover here. But yeah, all of those sort of things. So you can say this book definitely fits into the New Age category because it takes all sorts of different practices and sort of mashes them into one book. And yeah, so let's start where I usually start when reviewing books, with what's in it. You have here the contents. You have lists of exercises, lists of illustrations, and a prologue. Then you have chapter 1, the universal feminine. You have life-affirming energy, which is basically about the concept of energy and so on and so forth. The universal qualities of the feminine, sort of interesting chapter. And ancestral women, and the precious jewel. Both those are okay, but they're fairly generic. And we have an exercise, the precious jewel mudra, which is somewhat interesting. You have the growing child, Cassandra, and witch hunts, which are also completely okay, but are very generic because you fit these chapters into 1 page or less. So yeah. We have women in modern society. You can change your life. An exercise, fearless mudra, and an exercise, the self-acceptance mudra, and summary. The mudras are pretty okay. They can be quite useful. The information, it's like I said, it's okay, but it's like a lot of books of this type, where you sort of just have lots of practices and just mash them into one. Just adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. The problem with it is that it gets very, very, very shallow, and it sort of doesn't go into depth on any one practice, which can then I would much rather than just pick up books on these topics, on energy, on the witch hunt, on these various things, than to buy one of these variety pack books. But let's move on. We have chapter 2, finding a strong center. Then we have a man, woman, the importance of trust, both generic about the relations of men and women. Exercise the trust chakra, finding a strong center, exercise hara breathing, your strong center in your subtle energy field, exercise the standard method, exercise the visual screen. Exercise the empowerment mantra, and a summary for that chapter. Like I said, the exercises and mudras are pretty okay. They're pretty decent. The rest are so-so. Then we have chapter 3, chakra healing. This is a pretty good chapter, though again, like I said, getting a book on the chakras and chakra healing in general will get you better information, but the chapter is still pretty okay. We have energy with universal qualities, energy with individual qualities, a subtle energy system, the chakras, functions of the chakras, the 13 chakras in body space, exercises sensing the chakras in the body space, exercise activating a chakra, that one is pretty good, it's probably my favorite in the book, exercise centering yourself in a chakra field, minor energy centers and meridians, exercise activating the minor energy centers in your hands. This one is also extremely useful and are a very good place to start if you are into energy healings. That exercise is pretty useful. Exercise activating the minor energy centers in your feet, also pretty useful. Getting more of what a woman needs. Laura's story. Exercise issue body images. Exercise issue feeling like a sexual object. Exercise issue lack of sexual excitement. Exercise issue blocked I can't talk. We try again. Receptivity. It's good as it's good as it's gonna get right now. Exercise issue lack of self-esteem. Exercise issue blaming men for everything. I know somebody who could use that one. Exercise issue lack of vitality or motivation. Exercise issue holding on to negative attachment, and a summary for the chapter. So yeah, it is an okay chapter, but again, many of these books that sort of like exercise for women or for such and for such, basically it takes this information, and while it sort of centers on one topic, generally just what you get are a lot of introductions to various topics instead of getting a lot of information on it, but it's not bad. Then we have chapter 4, Healing Karmic Wounds. And we have what is karmic baggage? Say goodbye to karmic baggage. Exercise or orgasmic bliss mudra. No, that one's an interesting one. It's not exactly what you think. Releasing karmic baggage. Exercise releasing a concentration of karmic baggage. Overcoming restrictive beliefs. The fabulous function of mind. Taking the first step. Affirmations for the 21st century. Exercise using positive affirmations, an exercise arrangement of affirmations, and a summary. So it is a pretty okay chapter. Then here we are more into the self-help category, but still pretty good. We have chapter 5, Creating a Life-Affirming Identity. We have healing aspects of mind, effects of foreign aspects of mind, exercise releasing foreign aspects of mind, exercise reintegrating your personal aspects of mind, overcoming self-limited archetypes, rites of passage in other cultures, archetypes for the radiant woman, the other side of Lilith, it's an interesting section, Shakti, life affirmation archetypes, let's get practical, exercise releasing a self-limiting archetype, exercise self-integration of a life-affirming archetype, and exercise self-esteem mudra, and a summary. We are going to be here for a while. I have forgotten just how long this index is. So let's speed it up a bit. We have chapter 6, Unique Female Mind, where we have a world of two minds, seeking abundance, exercise, meditation for abundance, the female brain, the problem for multitasking, the core field, exercise field meditation, hunters and gatherers, exercise anti-depression meditation, karmic baggage on the mind, Lena's story, exercise severing a past life connection, and a summary. Then we have chapter 7, engaging female power, the middle way, the negative myths about empowerment, the scold's bridle, passive-aggressive games, overcoming passive-aggressive patterns, exercise archetypes, bumping, the governor meridian, exercise governor meridian meditation, major meridians, exercise Yu Jing and Yu meditations, exercise the chaos yin and the chaos yang meditation, and a summary. You know what? Instead, let's just go by chapter instead of every subchapter here, or we will stay here until tomorrow. We have chapter 8, which is enhancing creativity. We have chapter 9, enhancing female radiance. We have chapter 10, healing traumas to your body, soul, and spirit. Chapter 11, healing reproductive wounds. Chapter 12, restoring your sexual power. Chapter 13, enhancing your healing power. Chapter 14, transcendental relationships. Chapter 15, healing the female spirit. And then we have just a list of exercises. And we also have a glossary, a bibliography, recommended reading, and an index. Yeah, well, on a positive note, you will easily be able to find what you're looking for in this book because it's very well indexed. So, I guess that just by me reading up all of those subchapters and all of those chapters and so on and so forth, you can already guess some of the problem with this book. Yeah, it has sort of bitten over far more than it can chew. Basically, it tries to fit everything into this book. And the problem is that you sort of then just get little sections here on everything and you learn very little. But there are some really good exercises in here. And there are useful sections. I would say this book is definitely not one that I would go out of my way to acquire. But if you find it in your local bookshop under spirituality or something like that, and it's not very expensive, it might be worth a look because there are some, like I said, some good exercises and sections, but there's some buts in there. First of all, this goes more towards the self-help spectrum of New Age than it does anything else. So that's one thing. If you are not that really into the self-help books things, then you definitely will not like this, because while there are a lot of the spiritual practices as well, it's definitely going into self-help territory. So that's the one. Second, like I said, is that it bites over a lot more than it can chew. And the third is that it is a mishmash of ideas, practices, and everything. Now, as a chaot, I don't have an issue with this, but I know a lot of people don't really like it when you don't focus on one practice, or at least some practices that fit together, and you mishmash practices from all over the place. Like I said, I don't have an issue with this if it's done well. This isn't done that well, but fine enough. But if that's something that you don't really like, then you will definitely not like this book. So, what's it for? Well, I guess that a lot of people who are not really into the various forms of New Age and spiritual fields, but who has gotten interested in their feminine, basically their sacred feminine, and exploring more of their feminine, then this book might be a good book for them. It is not a very strong book for people that are somewhat knowledgeable in the various forms of occult fields, New Age fields, and so on and so forth, because it sort of just repeats things that you already know. It's like let's take everything that we can possibly fit into the idea of this being energy work from women, push it into this book, done, let's sell it. So, yeah. As far as how it's written completely okay. It's easy to follow. It flows pretty well off the pages. I have no complaints there. So yeah, I think this book is a bit of a mixed bag in every aspect of it. It's a mixed bag in the form of the content. It's also a mixed bag in the form of the quality. Now, every time something is for women or for men or for anybody in this particular group, someone asks, but is it can a man read this? Yeah, definitely. I would say that, well, it is geared towards women. We all have both masculine and feminine aspects of ourselves, so it can definitely be read by a man, and a lot of these practices are not specific towards women. They can be used by anyone. So while women might have more use of it, it definitely can be used by anyone. So yeah, it's a decent book, but I wouldn't call it a good book. And that is my review of Energy Healing for Women by Keith Sherwood and Sabine Wittmann. I'll give this a 6 out of 10 perhaps, somewhere around there. So yeah, have a great day and blessed be.